So today you'll be learning how to use a really simple tool that allows us to remotely control all of these computers. And the best part of all is that it's completely free of charge. You can download it into your PC and start running it right there. It is a legitimate tool that allows you to remotely manage all of these PCs, and it can be used for you to manage the task manager, to get the password, to be able to even see exactly what the user is doing. And this is called a remote access tool, or I prefer calling it remote access Trojan. And it is spread out from email phishing campaigns, from SMS that you click onto the link, as well as all these different social media messages that you say get from a fake hacker alloy. You click the link and that's it, it's game over. You're able to now remotely control any of these PCs as long as they click on the link. But there is a downside. The downside is that you won't look as cool as Mr. Hacker Alloy, where I go into the command and I enter like a pro hacker. So in this case, you'll look more like a script kiddie. But that is okay as long as you're able to remotely control those PCs. Now, before we go any further, remember kids, this is strictly for educational purposes only. If you want to hack, you gotta hack your own PCs that you have access to. And if you get caught hacking, don't tell them you know who's Mr. Hacker Alloy. This is a secret between you and I. Yes, I know. We are best friends forever. So this tutorial is really easy, and all you need are 3 steps. So 3 steps right here. The first step is to, of course, have internet connectivity so that you can download this software called Quasar Red. Number 2 is, of course, for you to execute onto this file, and then after which you generate a client file where the user will then go ahead and download that. And number 3, send it over to the user, and as long as they click onto the link, they execute the file, that's it. It's game over. You now have full remote control of the entire PC. And now, before we go any further, tell me, who would you send this file to? Is it going to be Mr. Hacker Alloy? So right in front of us, we got a Windows computer running, and all you got to do right now is say open up your favorite browser. And what we can do now is to go over to github.com, and this would allow us to be able to download this file over here. So I'm heading over to Quasar. All right, and of course I'll head back over to Quasar first, and this is the place for you to download this file that helps you remotely control the Windows computers. All right, it's a free open source remote administration tool, or we can call it Trojan, for Windows. All right, so it's fast, lightweight, and there are screenshots over here that teaches you how to use that. And once you're ready, just scroll all the way up. You can see under releases, go ahead and click under releases over here, and once you're here, you can see the latest version as v1.4.1. And we can scroll down a little more, go ahead and download the assets of .zip file. Clicked on that, and what I can do now is go ahead and save it over here. And now you can see from the top right corner, we have the file downloaded. All we got to do is click on it and go ahead and extract all of the files over here. So extract it to a target location. So in this case, I'll extract it over to desktop select. All right, click extract. And boom, done. We now have the file or folder right here. We can double click on it easily and we can start running it. And this is the exact file that we'll be targeting, which is quasar.exe. So once we run this one, it will allow us the ability to create the client, send it over to the Windows PC, double click on it, and boom, game over. We now have remote control of it. Okay, so once you're ready, just go ahead and double click on it. And right here, we got to pop up this states certificate wasted. So go ahead and click create. Give it a couple of seconds, it will create a new certificate for us, and then we can go ahead and save it over here. So go ahead and click save, click OK, boom, done. We now have Quasar running. So this is the graphical user interface of it, or you can call it dialog box, whatever you like. So this is it. This is the Quasar remote administration tool, and there's a couple of things we need to go through, and the first thing is going to be under builder. So this is where we create the executable file. So go ahead and click under builder, and once we are here, we have the client identification, we have the process mutex, and we'll go ahead and select onto unattended mode, select on that connection. This part is the most important of all because we need the IP address of where the client device is going to connect over into. So all you got to do right now is to start looking like a hacker. All right, open command prompt and enter ipconfig, and this gives us the IP address of 192.168.0.132. So this is the hacker's IP address, or if you want to make it less sounding like a hacker. So now that you got on the IP address, so go ahead and enter the IP address right here, 192.168.0.132. All right, so once you're ready with that, go ahead and click add host. Boom, done. Go over installation. Yes, we want to install the client to the target device on specific directories. So you have the install subdirectory. You can change any of this information, and we want it to be hidden. We want the subdirectory attributes to be hidden too. And also, this one is very, very neat because this allows us to ensure that even if the user restarts their PC, we still have connection to the computer over here. Next up, we have assembly. So click onto our assembly over here. If you want to change the product name, the description, company name, and so on and so forth, you can easily do that too. Following up, we have monitoring. All right, so enable keyboard login. Yeah, absolutely. Set the directory attributes to hidden. And once you're ready, go ahead and click build client and save it over here. So in this case, I'm going to save it over into inetpub www root, save it. All right, replace it for this one because I've saved it earlier, and boom, done. Build successful. We have now created the virus file. Click OK on that. All right, close this dialog box. Yes, save current settings. Next up, we go to settings. All right, and from settings, this is the part which allows us the ability to start listening. So once the user clicks onto the file, this gives us access to the computer. So in this case, I can select any of this IPv6 support if needed, listen for new connections on startup, so it does automatically for you, and so on. All right, so go ahead and click start listening, save, and you can see on the bottom left we have listening on port 4782. So this is the same port number that we have used as part of the client executable. And over here now I have another computer, and we can open up, say, Firefox, and if as long as the user clicks onto the link and execute on it, that's it. And we can easily do so using different type of social engineering attacks, asking the user to open up the attachment to look at HackerLoy's password, and so on. So once you're ready with that, all you got to do right now is enter client-build.exe, hit enter on that, save the file over here. I'm going to save it into desktop, save and replace it. All right, I've already downloaded it earlier. So you can see right here, we got the file downloader as client-build.exe. So go ahead and double click on it. All right, more info, let's say run anyway, whatever the case is. Boom, came over, and we head back to the computer. You can see right here we now have access to this, and of course in this case we have user at PC, we have the version, we have the status, we have the user status active, the country, and so on and so forth. So we got all this information right here, and there's a lot of things we can do. I can do and click onto the device. All right, we can expand onto the IP address, do a right click on this, and we can do administration. I can get system information. Say, for example, I clicked on it. It gives us immediate information about the computer. I can close this one. I can do a right click, and we can even have remote shell. In this case, I can enter dir to take a look at the working directory. I can enter who am I to see who am I operating as. And of course, in this case, I'm operating as Windows victim, Loy Liang Yang. How about who are you? Okay, just kidding. This is just a command I came up with, which is pretty funny too. Here is the more interesting part. We can even drop a message to the client device. So if you see over here, I can do a right click. Under user support, I click on the show message box on this. We can enter information. So in this case, you have been hacked by Mr. HackerLoy. All right, so I can have the message box buttons. All right, okay, cancel, click send. I head back over to the other computer. Boom! You can see right here you have been hacked by Mr. HackerLoy. Oh yes, and it is a privilege to be hacked by Mr. HackerLoy. So you should be proud of that. Now the final part that is the most interesting of all is to be able to view what the user is doing. So all we gotta do is do a right click on this one, and we can see right here monitoring. Remote desktop, clicked on it. All right, click start. Oh. The user is surfing loyliangyang.com. That's really good. Because of this great behavior, I'm not going to hack you anymore. So let's go ahead and close out on this one. So it's very easy for us to be able to use this tool to let us do lots of different activities against the target device. There's so many more things that we can easily do, including all forms of remote execution. This is an amazing tool.